in this video, I'm going to be discussing my philosophical breakdown of parsha Yitro and how it affected my yoga practice this week. You can find a transcript of this video on my blog, the link is in the bio, and you'll also find a class video of that yoga class inspired by parsha Yitro, also in the blog. So if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to comment below or contact me on my website. But without further ado, so in this parsha, the entire nation of Israel assembles at the foot of Mount Sinai to receive the 10 commandments. It's a huge deal. But I actually have future plans to incorporate the 10 commandments and yoga in a separate venture. So let's go beyond the 10 commandments and focus on Yitro, because this parsha is named after him after all anyway. So Yitro is Moses' non-Jewish father-in-law that pretty much changes the course of Jewish history. How does he do that? I'm about to tell you. He suggests that Moses uses a judicial system to delegate the handling of the needs of the nation. And it's pretty significant. So, as a yoga teacher, my job is to hold space for students where they can practice their own movement. I do my best to guide and inspire, but everybody has their own needs. I'm proud of my students who show up for themselves to learn yoga and eventually develop their own practice. That's the best. So yoga teachers are essentially delegating mindfulness through movement. Have you ever left a yoga class feeling overworked in a bad way? You should never feel like you're running yourself into the ground when practicing yoga. You always have the option to just stop and breathe. And I always say this in my classes. If you want to come in and just lay down on the mat, even if you're watching one of my videos, you want to just lay down on the mat and listen to what I'm saying and just breathe, totally yoga. Ideally, you should feel lit up and empowered. So there's no problem with micromanaging all the minutia of every move you make, but it may not be the most pleasant practice for you. In retrospect, it may seem glaringly obvious that Moses should not have been the bottleneck to the entire nation's problems. Both he and the people were probably left exhausted. So let's take a tip from Yitro. He suggested higher and lower courts to facilitate judging the people's needs. With God's blessing, Moses accepted Yitro's advice. How can we incorporate that today? Because not all of us speak to God. It's just you can meditate and listen to yourself and listen to your voice within. And when you kind of ask yourself, like, is this right for me? You should have an answer, especially in your movement. You will even have a physical reaction to some things. You'll do something and immediately your body is just like, no. And that doesn't mean try harder. It maybe means do it better or try again at a different time. So how can we reflect this lesson in yoga? So I just said a little bit about that, but there's so many ways. Let's focus on building better movement habits. Have you heard of muscle memory or retraining your neural pathways? Do something the right way functionally enough times and train your brain to do it that way automatically. And you'll see this in the class video if you try it out. A little goes a long way. For example, you may have heard teachers telling you to stand in a tall spine in Tadasana, but you can and should practice this Tadasana-like spine in every posture. So, long spine. I say it like a million times in this class video for the week. So, when you are nearly horizontal in upward facing dog, the long spine, you keep that by looking at the floor in front of you and not like, going crazy, overextending your cervical spine, your upper spine. So check out this week's class video and see how this adjustment can be made in a number of postures. And remember, there's no failure, only feedback. Let's listen to our inner Yitro and improve our movement practice together. So thanks for listening in. That's my philosophical breakdown. And once again, the transcript is in the blog. Comments, questions, feedback, would love to hear it. If you try the class, please let me know. You can find me on Instagram. And yeah, like and subscribe. you can turn on notifications so you get notifications for videos like these and don't miss out. Thanks so much.